All right, what's going on, everybody? This is The Drop. This is Osiris Media. I'm RJ. I am here with two special guests, um, LadyCouch, Alan,
Hello.
Kesha. Can you guys say hi?
How are you?
How's it going?
Nice to see you all. You all have an album called Matter of Time that's coming out in
Hmm.
I think 3 days. Coming out on Friday.
Yep.
It's really I just got to listen to it. It's great. I can't wait to talk to you all about it. But where are you all, and what are you all up to right now? Because it's
Well, we're at a Riverside Revival here in Nashville. We've finished a day of interviews and promo for the record, and
Yeah.
we've been running around town
Yeah.
like crazy people all day.
We saved the best for last, and got to get to talk to them for dinner. So.
what what tell I know there's like a lot of pretty cool stuff involved with the rollout of this album.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean we've got like a short film, a little short doc of us making the record, and
Yeah, our buddy Aaron Lindstrom came and did like a multi-camera behind-the-scenes shoot of all the sessions for the record, and then kind of took us all aside and interviewed us all afterwards. So we're going to be seeing a portion of that for the first time on Thursday, and I, I have mixed emotions about it. I think it'll be cool, but I've never seen myself on camera for that amount of time, so I don't
no,
know.
yeah, me either.
What was it like having cameras in the room while you were doing the sessions?
Man, I mean, he really he set it up to where it was pretty. It wasn't very intrusive. So like I didn't, other than if I like knocked something over or someone else knocked something over, or if they were like making noise during like a quiet part or something, it really wasn't like I didn't feel like I had to perform a certain way, or like I couldn't say certain things or whatever. He did a really good job of making us feel comfortable and not like there was somebody filming everything
Someone watching
we
you.
did at all times.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to hear about it. I'm excited that you get to do that, and that's on Thursday, and then the album
Mhm.
comes out Friday. And
Yep.
what else do you have going on around the rollout?
So we're playing a release show here in town at a place called the Vinyl Lounge, which is also connected to the Vinyl Lab, which is where we pressed our album. So
Excellent.
we're doing that on Friday, and and then yeah, beyond that, just we've been doing a lot of radio interviews and that kind of stuff, just sort of trying to get the word out. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is your second album, right?
Yes.
I have the first album here. I think the last time I saw you all in person maybe was on a rooftop in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, before
Before
Fish.
Fisher's makeup shows at Ascend.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a while, but
Yeah.
since I saw you, but I know you've been working on this. I love listening to it. I think it's really cool. The first track, how it kind of fades into the second, Dirt to Dust, which is totally, sort of different styles, but the whole thing has a real variety of sound, and it feels like something that that has like a different kind of feel from your previous album. Will you tell us a little bit about how you approached this, putting this album together, and I don't know what your vision was, maybe.
Well, we with the first record, Keish and I really wrote a lot of the songs, just the two of us, and we really at that point, the band was new, and with a band that large in a town like Nashville, your members kind of rotate and everything. So she and I really did all of the initial arranging and production, like in addition to just the writing, like just the two of us. And then, we get to rehearsals or sessions and be like, here you go, this is what we're doing. And, there wasn't a lot of, we didn't ask for a lot of input from everyone else, mostly because at that point we weren't sure that that specific everyone else were going to remain the same, But then this with us all having been together for the better part of the last 5 years, it was a little bit more. We really took our time with pre-production. We had an outside producer this time, Dan Davis, who produced and engineered it. And we spent a lot of time really letting everybody's sort of personalities come into the picture before we went into the studio. And then it also helped that there was 3.5 years of traveling together and listening to a lot of the same stuff and on the road and really having long discussions about how we could incorporate some of those things into what we were doing, so yeah.
What did you what did you all learn from this time that maybe was different from the first record, just in terms of recording and writing?
Oh wow. Well, I think this record we all kind of worked individually a little differently than before, but it's wild that we all can write something separately but have one another in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool to watch and to learn. And I think seeing everyone be a little more comfortable with one another this go around. You think everything about your bandmates as you travel and the first record alone,
Right.
But then you get into your second project and people feel a little bit more free to give their opinion or to share and collaborate. So
Right.
Yeah, I think we learned how to work together a little more this go around.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. That's cool. And I know you had some guests on there. It sounds like there was just a lot of kind of, well, I guess part of what I was reading was just there's a lot of collaboration with other folks, including a couple of guys from Old Crow and others. But did you feel like it was the recording itself, those sessions were different from the first time around?
Oh yeah, 100%. The first record wasn't intended to be a record. We were recording a thing for a local radio station at the Purple Building, which is like Todd Snyder's studio and rehearsal space. And when we got in there, we realized that Todd had been in there working on his record. So it was set up in order, to do a little bit more in-depth recording than we had been anticipating. And then when we listened back to it on the radio, we were kind of like, oh, we've definitely got basic tracks for an album, and we could start, editing and overdubbing and all of that. And so that just sort of came together, much more sort of by happenstance. Whereas this time around, we went into Southern Ground, which is Zach Brown's studio, and it's over on Music Row in Midtown in Nashville. And Dan's been the head engineer there for a minute, so he's real familiar with the room. And the room, was just really conducive to, it's just a cool vibe. The grand piano used to belong to Liberace. The B3 used to belong to Greg Allman, that kind of thing. So there's a lot of cool history and vibe in there, but also the way the studio is just laid out, it made a lot of sense for us to be able to do our thing the way we do it, but be isolated enough to really not have to use our mistakes or try and figure out how to polish them, digitally later. So it was just a whole nother experience. Also, I think we had a mix of like half of the songs were like pretty heavily road tested, and the other half were not really at all. We they were being presented during the pre-production and stuff like that. We wanted to tell kind of a story and have it have sort of like like the Alan Toussaint record Southern Nights, like a Southern Gothic version of like Dark Side of the Moon, like that kind of concept album. And so it was less about like, the first time around it was like, we need material, we're a brand new band. And this time around it was more like, we need material to help tell the story that these other songs are already telling, to help move things forward, sort of. So, which is cool. It's a great way to write. And I hadn't anticipated that we would be lucky enough to be able to do that as early in our careers as we have.
Nice.
So.
That's awesome. Well, congrats. And I read, I think just in the description of what you all were doing, that you'd imagine the first like 4 tracks as almost like a vinyl, one
Seamless.
side of a vinyl.
No break.
Yeah. It definitely could hear that. And are those songs, how did you guys approach the writing?
Well, it kind of just depends. The first record, it was the middle of COVID, so lots of voice memos, and Alan and I would shoot each other lyrics through text message. This go around, I think we actually got to sit and spend more time together with other bandmates,
right?
Also writing. So yeah, I think everyone gets their fair turn and a chance to be heard through this record and hopefully the other ones to come.
Yeah, I think really only Storm of Memories was the only tune that we were like, this is what we are showing you is done. This is the song. Mm-hmm. Everything else was a lot more open to collaboration. Yeah. And you can see that in the credits as well. But even some of the uncredited collaboration, being able to have that once a week dedicated to, working things out with the producer in the room, and he already knows the capabilities of the room where we're going to be recording. It really made it so that we felt real comfortable with each other. We were able to really kind of work together to achieve the common goal, so it was awesome. I fully hope that we can do a similar thing with the next batch of songs the same way, in the same place, because I really like working that way.
Nice. Do you all feel like a sense of relief now that it's like done, or?
I will come like this time next week.
Not yet.
I think I'm almost there.
You have a lot happening between now and then.
Yeah, but I'd say by, well, if not by next week, definitely by like mid-August, I should feel like if I see you at Mondegreen, I'll probably be a lot more laid back than I am right now.
Well, I hope to see you at Mondegreen. So if you were introducing this, this record to people who hadn't heard your music before, what's like the one thing you would want them to take away from listening to LadyCouch?
Oh man, I'm more interested in just kind of learning about what new people are taking away from it. I know, like I was saying, what I had in my mind that I wanted to create, and I know where once we all got our hands on it, where it sort of deviated from that and where it stuck to that, and I don't have any real opinions either way. I'm super pleased with what we made, but I've also we lived inside of it for the better part of 6 months, and so I'm just interested to hear, what other people's takes on it are. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
Nice. You both have been around the Nashville scene before forming the band. You pulled together 12. It's a 12 person band, right? Still?
Yeah.
That seems like. Do you really need that? Did you ever ask yourselves that? Because I feel like it must be so much easier to organize 5 or 6 or 12 people.
Well,
it's so much.
Wanting and needing are two different things, right?
Yeah.
I think we came together with the initial idea that we wanted to do this as this family all-star hippie orchestra situation.
Yeah.
So we never once were just like, that's too many people. And then as some folks still, it's like, what's the 13th person? What's, for the show, what's a 14th person,
Yeah. It was really important to us if we were going to kind of attempt to do that thing that's very heavily influenced by Mad Dogs and Englishmen and Delaney and Bonnie and Little Feat and Parliament, that we should have that. It should have that atmosphere, and it should have and definitely also have that instrumentation. That said, we're not harboring any delusions that we're in a place where 350 seat clubs in cities we've never been to are going to be super excited to give us the amount of money that it would require to bring 12 people to them in Iowa or wherever else. The size of the band is for a while will always be in sort of direct proportion to the size of the check that the promoter wants to write, but that said, there's certain elements that we can't really do without. Otherwise, what we're doing doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it comes through on the music. I think the celebratory community vibe of it is really strong. So the sound is accomplished for sure. So I think I'm excited for people to hear it and excited, like you said, to see what people are taking away from it. Because I think it's great. I'm looking forward to listening to it more. So,
yeah,
congrats. And so will people be able to see the kind of mini documentary once it's premiered? How are people going to be able to watch that or check that out?
So we are planning to release it in the fall, sometime before the end of the year, and we're still kind of piecing together the game plan for that and how exactly whether it's gonna be something we sort of do exclusively via Patreon or the website, or something that we maybe try and get onto a streaming service. We're still kind of trying to see what the best home for it is, but like I said, we haven't seen any of it we won't see any of it until day after tomorrow. So hopefully by then we'll have a little bit better idea of what we want to do with it once we've seen it.
That's really exciting, though. That's going to be great. I'm psyched for you guys to be able to kind of premiere it in in your home city in front of friends and
Yeah.
family, and that'll be awesome. Well, I hope you all have a great weekend and a great debut, rollout weekend. We'll be watching here and helping to get the word out from the Osiris perspective. But it's always nice to talk to you all. I hope to see you all at a show sometime, at a LadyCouch show or another show. Right?
I'm definitely doing Monte Green, so I'll be up there all weekend, and then I think we should be back. We should be up your way in October with LadyCouch, and so I'll make sure we keep you posted on that.
Nice, awesome. Well, I hope to see you at Monte Green, but I definitely want to check out the band soon too. My wife and I are excited to see you all again.
Yeah,
awesome.
We'll let you know.
Well, congrats, and like I said, I'll put this in the show notes. But the new album, Matter of Time, comes out on Friday, so everyone check that out. And thank you both for joining me. It was fun.
Thank you, RJ. It's always great to talk to you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.